Shazam issue 9.
Get caught up,
it's
Connor,
fine, carry on.
because although I still don't like where part of this went,
Yeah,
it's
I saw some
it's a fun
spoilers,
read.
not intentionally,
Yeah.
just headlines are shit. Let's be honest, on the
Yeah.
internet, and I had context for it because of what you guys were talking about last
Right.
issue, and I went, "Ooh, okay." I'm looking forward to hearing you guys not be happy about that.
Yeah, well, it's not so much a not so happy. It's just I feel like Johns is trying to do too much. With-
Just for the record here, Geoff Johns writing with the art by Dale Eaglesham, Scott Collins, and Marco Santucci. So we got 3 artists. I think that's worth
Right.
Back
pointing
up
out.
again.
Yeah, but these are broken up into the different worlds where they're going on. So it flows a lot better than some of the other issues have, where it kind of just felt like we're just trying to get this out.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Wazunderlands, super weird still.
Well, yeah, this is the weird thing. Is this issue? Maybe this was hinted at before, but this issue made it very clear that this was Wizard of Oz mixed with Alice in Wonderland, to the point where the characters in it refer to the fact that Alice and Dorothy like combined the place themselves, and are kind of like not the rulers, but like they're like, I don't know,
And like
weird bit of mythology going on here.
Think of literary places. I understand why Johns would pick Oz and Wonderland, because they're both these places where, kids, like children's
the
fantasy. Yeah, right. And so these are places like the Funlands, right? That kids would want to go. You find out at the end that the reason that they got smashed together was an invasion by the Monsterlands, and it consumed one of them, so they, brought them there. But you still have the witches at play, and the Queen of Hearts, and it just feels like a mismatch. And
there's a lot happening here. I will say there was Wonderland stuff. Like, I was happy to see everyone back together again, and obviously I was happy that, because what was happening here is that obviously last issue ended with Billy's dad becoming like the 7th Shazam family member. And this issue starts with them fighting Black Adam. Mary's there as well, but Mary's powers start shorting out. After a couple of punches, she like just zaps and she's back to being Mary. But then when they're back in the Wonderlands after this, when they sort of retreat, not intentionally, might I add, this is kind of like against their will.
Old.
Yeah. They like Mary's back to being superhero again, and then she unmarifies or she unshazams, and like it's going back and forth, and it happens with the dad as well, and it's like, what's happening? And the wizard shows up with all the others that he's collected, so everyone's back together again, so that was nice to see. And the wizard explains, your heart's kind of torn between right now, so the powers are literally fluctuating between your dad and everyone else, because you're conflicted as to who your family really is, so you're going to have to choose. And Billy, stresses over this choice for like a minute. And to be fair, I did like that his dad said, "Hey, you shouldn't pick me. Like I've not been here. I want to be in your life again, but you shouldn't pick me for this because I've not been here."
Yeah.
And
also, I'm a grown man that just realized magic really exists. Maybe I'm not the best person for this.
But basically, Billy says, "Well, screw this. I get to pick who my family is, so I just pick everyone." So the final, we end with it's not the final page, but we end kind of that part with like everyone suited up, and the wizard's like, "It's impossible," and all I could think was, well, technically, I mean, everything says it's supposed to be 7, right? So,
right,
if he does just kind of accept in his heart that this is all his family, then I suppose why does this seem so impossible?
Yeah.
This feels quite natural to me.
I almost wish that the dad thing didn't come up like 2 issues ago. I wish it kind of started it off with it, or we got, remember when they did the backup in the first issue about the bunny? I almost wish there was backups about Billy's dad or something, just because now it just feels so fast. Like, Billy, you're not even sure if this really is your dad. Like, he tracked you down, and you're just sharing your power willy-nilly. So, but yeah, also at the end, Mr. Mine and Savannah, sounds like they're going to recruit King Kid to have on their side for when they attack the Shazam family. So, but yeah, I almost feel like Johns is doing too much. It's still a fun read. Like, I had a lot of fun reading it.
Yeah.
And I was ready to not like the addition of Billy's dad, but when he goes, "No, I choose who my family is," And I really do like that message that he can have both.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like, I like that message, and I also don't think that he's going to be around for a while. I feel like this is a thing that will be done by the end of the arc, maybe, or maybe next arc it'll be kind of is when it all falls apart.
I almost felt this was like 2 issues worth of stuff thrown into one, because the Black Adam and Sin's thing is kind of just thrown out.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Black Adam doesn't really like Savannah or Mr. Mind, and he kind of intends on like beating them once he's like got all the power back. Because he basically wants all the power back from Billy and that he's super powerful and he can go after the real villains stuff, as he wants to do.
Yeah, standard.
Yeah, so the end is basically just like we're about to do this so that we can take over all the magic lands and all the realms, and we're going to, win basically. Because it sounds like it's not really so much that they want to work with King Kid; they just want him to be functional right now as a distraction, so that they can get away with what they're doing.
That's what I mean. They're kind of recruiting him into their side, but
I would say manipulating him almost rather than So
because he just wants the power of Shazam for himself. He wants to be that 7th member.
And I wasn't super into the art. Like obviously different sections of different artists, but like there was definitely some that I wasn't feeling that much. Where faces felt a little bit iffy. I think when they were all waking up, for example, when they land in the Wazunderlands, I was feeling like it looked a bit off to me, which is a shame because this book started with good art, but then very quickly they had to start having multiple artists.
Whoever they could get.
Yeah. So the art's been super inconsistent, which is a shame. But I mean, I think the issue again, like you say, it's enjoyable enough read. John's writing for me always flows really well, so it's one of those things. Just hopefully it can smooth out a little bit as we keep going, and just put more John's on more things, because John's should be on more things. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, but yeah, okay issue. How are you giving it?
I'm gonna give this a 7. Like, it's perfectly fine. Not great.
Yeah, I'll go with a 6.5. But a weaker one for me, this one.